Good morning and welcome. This is episode 13 of the 4x3 podcast. Today I want to talk about something a bit different, a bit dark, a bit doom and gloom. And that is about the toxic earth, the water supply, the earth we grow our food on, and just everything that's toxic and poisonous in the general sense. Although most of us grow on our earth and we create composts and we rebuild the soil and grow wherever we need to grow, what if the truth is what we're eating is still poison? All of our earth and natural resources have been destroyed for many years and overly mined of all of its minerals to the point you would need to purchase a very mineral-rich property to actually grow food that is healthy for your body. And this is things like the metals that we always dig up and destroy the earth for so we can melt and create these very lush and beautiful structures and things like that. All the while, all this stuff that needs to be in our drinking water should be very important for our body. But in saying all of this, and in saying how toxic the earth is, animals have lived for a long time that we know of, and animals in nature in the bush that we live by, or, birds and bees and things like this, they still live around. They're still around. So, in reality, is this a non-issue? Could we possibly live much longer if we had this mineral-rich diet or food supply with all our animals and, just what if? Just what if? But we're never going to find out. And most people don't want to live beyond a certain age period anyway. And it goes much deeper than that. And what if the human body, if you pretty much lived without all of this modern garbage? What if you take a person who lives in a very mineral-rich area or region? They live off very little food. They have mineral-rich water, untouched water, pure water. And they live without technology. And they become untouched. They don't eat meat. They don't get their shots from the hospitals, the doctors. They don't take pills and drugs. They don't drink alcohol. They don't drink and eat all this unhealthy stuff. What if you take a person like that? Would they live longer? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll never find out myself. But it's very interesting to think about. In this modern world, you quite literally could think that you live till 160, but then you could get hit by a bus. And what are the dangers of living in a wild setting and drinking the mineral-rich water and not going to doctors and not being a part of the technologically advanced world, or whatever you want to call it? What are the dangers in that environment? Would there be any? Could there possibly be any dangers? I don't know. And I'll never find out. Not unless I basically quit what I'm doing, but in all reality, I'm not pure of anything. And what I mean by this is I've already had 30 years of toxic chemicals throughout my body. So there's got to be lots and lots and lots of tissue damage by now, to the point where I've already pre-activated any sort of cancer cells. And so unless by this time tomorrow I decide to be absolutely free of chemicals and technology and just anything, then I'm probably just going to live an average life and pretty much die at the average age or sooner, or who the hell knows, really. But that's just something I want to talk about, because there's apparently people in villages in Southeast Asia or other tribal places, or just not even tribal places. I don't know. The only ones I can think about are in like Asian countries or whatever, where, they're fasting and they're drinking pure water, or they're barely eating, and they're eating, I don't know, they're probably not eating meat. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if any of it's true. Who knows? Who really knows, to be honest? Don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know. Hey. But yeah, I mean, this topic's just come up because recently a couple of people I know of, one of them passed away, and then another one is dying currently, and it's not someone a person I've really got to know or anything, but it just seems so sad and very crap, and both of the people are suffering from pretty much bowel cancer, and just what happens is the body relieves lots of blood, and you basically shrink down to a mere nothing in weight, and your insides are pretty much gone, and on your final days you are in extreme pain that you need to be drugged to die, basically. And just hearing these stories is just, it's pretty sad, scary, but nonetheless, I'm still not concerned about myself. I live this life where I'm not going to the hospital or a doctor unless my arm is coming off. And then, obviously the last minute decisions for them to save me. Or, I guess a snake bite or something with heavy toxins. I don't know. It's been about nearly 4 years since I've gone to a doctor for anything to do with myself, or a hospital. And the last time I pretty much went, it was sort of a hypochondriac moment, where I was shaving a large piece of bamboo, and the tool that I was using, you'd think that cut me. Nope. The bamboo sliced right between my thumb and my index finger. And, well, actually, yeah, sorry, that's the wrong injury. I'm looking at my hand right now. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. The same thing, yeah. It required a super glue. But the super glue failed, and I pretty much probably could have done it myself. And now I just have a scar, so that's pretty much healed anyway. Yeah, and when I lived up north in far north Queensland, I was pretty much a hypochondriac all the time, and I went to the doctor for pretty much anything. If there was I actually had 2 surgeries over there. One was for my ear, and one was to get some sort of ulcer thing out of my lip. And since then, I don't believe in surgeries, and I've never really had any surgery in my life. So being up there, I was a major hypochondriac. And I not only went there for, cancer scares because of the sun, I went there for having a cold or minor wrist pains. Now, if I have any wrist pain, I just associate it to past injuries and probably some sort of hair fractures or, minor fractures. I'm guessing I have them all over the place, and I will most likely feel them when I'm much older. And I do feel my injuries when it's cold. And pretty much the injuries are from rollerblading or skateboarding, doing stupid things. Nothing to do with work-related incidents. But when you're learning skateboarding or rollerblading, or you're getting back on your horse, you're trying dumb shit, and like me, I just fall on my wrists, my knees, and my elbows, which is the main areas that hurt the most. And sometimes a skateboard would hit me on the shins, and I think I've got a shin injury from that. Either that, or I've got this special fucking disease, which I heard about recently. Some sort of slow tearing of ligaments or something. I don't know. It's between under your knee and down on the shin. So yeah, I mean, well, that's a sports injury. So, and I have a major goal in life, and that is to, if I get some sort of cancer, I'm going to the highest peak of a mountain top, and I'm taking a bag of hooch, and I'm smoking my way to either healing my body or pretty much until I suffer on my own and, go out with a bang, really. But you can never really say what you're going to do. And that happens a lot with all of us and everyone. Either when you watch some sort of video or some sort of program, or you look at some sort of crap on Facebook where someone does a certain thing, and then you pretty much act as if you're going to do it differently to what they do it, but you never actually know because you've never been in that situation. And my partner's been watching Alone. It's this television show about individuals who go out into a native setting, pretty much in the wild, and they see how long they can survive. So it's like Survivor, I guess. I don't know. Where there's contestants, but none of them know each other. They just, work independently. And so they do their best to survive. So watching that, we think we can do things a certain way, when in reality we've never been in that situation in our life, and we never know what we would do. And there's this thing called tapping out, so pretty much meaning that they leave the program, they forfeit the show, and they don't win any prize money or anything like that, which there is a prize money. There is prize money. And so, realistically, people don't actually know what's going to happen to them in any situation in their life compared to someone else. And you'll find that people will think that they act a certain way. And that's why I've changed my tune with a lot of things in life. One minute I'll agree with something, and the next minute I'll disagree with myself, and I'll disagree with that argument again. That's happened like a lot, because you have to look at the situation from your point of view, not the point of view of the media or Facebook or content creators. There's too much of a habit of getting into a trap of pretty much enjoying someone's mentality and their character, and then basically repeating their character to other people. And I've been known to do that a lot. And now I just sit on the fence and I sit back, and I'll be opinionated in some things, but with others, I know I have to shut the fuck up. But there is often times where I'm stuck in my ways, and it's very hard to try and get the point across and convince someone else that what they're saying sounds a bit crazy, but then at the same time, they would think exactly the same about me. I believe in certain things that someone else doesn't, and that's just it. Vice versa, right? Vice versa, whatever. So yeah, do I give an example? I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna give an example on that, but I've got so many projects that I want to do soon, and strictly speaking, video projects. I want to basically get onto interviewing a fair amount of people, or a few people, mostly the elderly, and anyone I find interesting. And I might do some sort of podcasts up near my folks, and I don't know, some sort of car restoration or car series, classic car series, and actually try and get it done the way I want it done, where I interview the person in a public space, and then they show me their car and we take it for a drive. I mean, it's no different to what I've done before, but this time I'm going to try it on my other camera. And now I'm using the Sennheiser MKE 600 with my Zoom 4HN, or 4N, sorry. H4N, fuck. I'm looking at it right now and I already fucked it up. This is an older recorder. I'm pretty sure this recorder was used back in the day, back when I was at school, uni, whatever. I don't know if it was the H4N, but it sounds very familiar. Yeah, I mean, I picked this one because it was cheaper, and pretty much it has the same. Well, I can't compare it, obviously, but it records at a bit rate very much similar to the newer upgraded versions, and the quality sounds fine, and it records in the formats it needs to, so why not pick up something for a third of the cost, or at least half if I'm lucky. And yeah, it's serving me relatively well, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. I might get a cable to balance out the audio. I don't know if it will make any difference to what it's doing now by balancing the mono channels or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. It's good enough, to be honest. And and today, like, just an average day. Nothing to report on the fitness level. For the last few days, I've been floating around 95 kilograms, but I take it as it is. I was floating around 98, 97 for a while, and obviously I'm checking every day, so it's a ridiculous way to keep up with things. Because most people on average lose a kilogram a week when they're losing weight on the calorie diet, where it's a certain amount of calories to exercising. But for me, I'm just going with the flow. So, meaning I'll set my calories at 2,000, and sometimes I'll go for a walk and sometimes I won't. And that's pretty much it. So nothing to report on that. I have a generator, and for most of the time it wasn't working. And old mate from down the road came down and asked if it was working still, and then I told him my issues. I had it working, and then he said, "Oh, well, this, try this and this." And sure enough, I think what he suggested, because my brain is just so stupid, because I've never grown up with such a thing, to be mechanically minded and to work things out. So it's a slow process for me, having to try and repair things like cars and things with engines in it. So having the information is very handy. So I ended up didn't have the carburetor bolted down properly, and so there was a air related issue, I guess. And now I think it's working. Like, I could be speaking out of mind here, but I think it's working. And I tried this drop saw that I purchased in a hurry, like last week, thinking that the generator was working. But now I've been able to successfully, for 2 days in a row, actually run that drop saw. Obviously, I am running off of 3 solar panels, and that just runs my basic needs, really, and a fridge. So I don't have the power that I need to run that. But I have been enticed over the years to operate certain things. Sort of enticed. I've been doing a lot of hand sawing, but then it's so tiring when, for the many years that I've just been here, I haven't had success with good health. And when you eat like shit, like I have been, in reality, it's just lethargic. I'm just lethargic every single day, so I can't be bothered hand sawing. And it takes a lot out of me, and I get so hot so easily depending on what I do. So just having that drop saw, and I didn't believe for a long while in power tools, but it's easier, and who knows, if I become healthy minded, I might go back to hand sawing. But right now I'm just trying to work on future proofing my body so that I don't, die of a heart attack or a stroke. Because these days I'm a huge believer in not sedentary lifestyle at all, but not being so ridiculously fit to the point where I'm like pushing my body so hard that I could be creating, blood. I could be increasing my blood pressure so high that I could have a heart attack, or a stroke. I mean, I'd prefer to just move my body around enough so that it has. Okay, how do I explain this? So that the blood moves around properly and the organs work correctly, and I'm not nearly fucking dropping dead. Anyway, but I guess that comes with good health. And usually I start out all right, and I was consistently going for walks every day. And now it's slowing down, and now I'm becoming tired again. I would go to bed at like 7, well, 8, whatever. But with my situation, I have children and I have to work with everyone, so at some point again, my tiredness comes back, and then I just feel very weak in the morning and I just don't want to do anything. And I have to, during the day, do certain things to ensure that I get a good sleep, and I can pretty much predict when my sleep is going to be hell. Again, and right now, although I'm using this recorder, I'm using technology, I'm just trying to stay away from my phone. It's easy to go back onto it. Very easy to go back on the phone, because I just think, okay, people are texting me, or I'm waiting for messages or emails, or, I have an excuse to go and do something. And I don't know if listening to music would be cheating, by using my phone. But I don't know. And one thing I will explain, and I've probably said this a million times before, when first moving out here, I was very, very into removing everything and never having it again. So, and I still think like that. So at the drop of a hat, I could do it again, but I would love to. My idea is to just disappear formally and, not have a phone, not have emails, not have any form of social media. Try to go back to, that would be difficult, DVDs, meaning if I film anything, share it around, I don't know, or do things that or create things that are like 20 minutes long, or compilations, and put them to DVDs, or save them to USBs. I mean, let's be honest, not have to put them or distribute them online or anything. I could create a catalogue of stuff if I still want to film things, is what I'm talking about. I wouldn't necessarily have to go on YouTube or anything. Anyway, I'm trying to get to the point here. So I removed social media, email accounts. I didn't have any laptops or any tech or anything like that, really. And slowly it has been this thing where I've reintroduced everything because it's readily available and I have power again. It wasn't anything that I believed in for a short while, and now it's just coming back. And I mean, it sucks because I got my head in a good space where I could go out into the yard, or go for walks, or do certain things where I didn't have to rely on being on the phone, and in a world where people are waiting for me to talk to me or anything like that. And it's just a big struggle because there are people in the world I want to chat to, but I think about myself and not necessarily trying to shelter myself, but to just remove myself from a setting where everyone is following a basic life structure, meaning all the holidays and people's birthdays and being a part of the communities, and I just want to go back to a basic life. Almost want to be Amish in a way. Although they've been getting a lot of a lot of, whatever. Just being free from everything. That's just an independent thought. That's not put on anyone else. And so I began that journey when we moved. I removed social media. I must have had a phone. I've had some sort of smartphone. But for a while, I don't think I used it at all. And then it became this nasty habit of bringing it back. And it's so weird because I was very much the type of person who had the willpower to live without it. But then obviously you got to find things to do every single day. And I don't go to a 9 to 5, so for me it's just like I have to find shit to do. Yeah. But anyway, wow, so just don't know what to do today, really. I was planning on running away, but I don't know if I'm doing that yet. Don't know. Mainly testing out this microphone. But the one thing that's annoying me now is I like doing this weird 4x3 podcast thing, but I now want to transition and transition over to just setting up my camera in a special setting and then doing a back and forth podcast with my partner and actually have a very engaging conversation with another person rather than trying to think of stuff, and sound like sort of robotic. I want to sound a little more natural because now, although you can't, you might tell, I'm putting on some sort of voice a little bit. But that's how I like it, like, in a way. I'm not trying to be, I don't know. This is just how I'm sounding right now. But anyway, thank you for listening, and I am out. Goodbye.